and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel tonight, guys, where in the end I decided to upload the ratings here, because here tonight marks the return of player ratings on the channel. And this comes at the request here of David, who said that he was at risk of having to wear a Real Madrid shirt. Now, because I wouldn't wish that on anyone, they're back here today, and what a day it was. Now, what we've got today is full ratings from the starting lineup. We're also going to be talking about the subs, where there was real impact coming off the bench, by the way, and we've also got a rating for Hansi Flick. And admittedly, I'm in a great mood. I'm feeling really happy after the win, so maybe I'm going to be a bit generous. And so let me know if you agree with the ratings and what your personal ones would be down in the comments. Let's do this. Because if we do begin today with Iñaki Peña, guys, so I do have to be completely honest. Again, he doesn't fill me with a massive amount of confidence. I was surprised, to be honest, that he stayed in the lineup. I was surprised before the game when Flick said he's going to stay in the team and that he's going to play against Bayern. I think probably based on this performance, he will still be there. Nothing catastrophic happens, so Flick probably won't change. But he's still a bit nervy for me. You know, in the first half there was a free kick that was whipped in. He comes for it, got absolutely nowhere near it. Of course, he was beaten on the Sevilla goal, but in fairness, he couldn't really have done too much about that. So I'm going to go here with a 7 for Iñaki Peña. Wasn't actually too involved in the game, didn't have too much to do, but still for me, there's work to do with him. However, guys, when it comes though to Jules Koundé, well, he doesn't make me nervous. He definitely does not. He was absolutely fantastic yet again, I feel. You know, throughout the season so far, he's been one of our most consistent players. He's been constantly putting in really good displays. And whether it's defensively or going forward as well, he's really started to enjoy himself, I feel, on that right side this season. Played an absolutely perfect pass in behind to Rafinha midway through the first half there. It was a perfect ball right in between the defence and the goalkeeper. Rafinha couldn't quite finish that one off, but Koundé for me, excellent yet again, and I'm going to give him here a rating of 9 for Jules Koundé. He was that good, perfect part of our defence, and helping as well moving forward. And what about Pau Cubarsí? Because every time that I watch him, again, it's like Yamal, you can't believe that he's 17, you cannot believe the maturity that this young man plays with, and again, he's also vital, not only defensively, but even today, he starts moves, he is so elegant on the ball, he plays absolutely pinpoint passes with such accuracy, and I just love watching him play. He is a perfect centre-back for Barça, and I'm also going to give him a rating of 9, even though he did give away technically a penalty, but he didn't, because it was offside, so he gets a 9, Pau Cubarsí. Alongside him, we have Íñigo Martínez, who, let's be honest, guys, he was superb again. He was absolutely brilliant, and every time this season, Íñigo Martínez is in our defence, he impresses us. And you know why? Because he's always there. If there's a loose ball, he's onto it. He's right there with the interception. He's right there blocking things. Last gas blocks coming in. He's brilliant in the tackle. He's so strong, isn't he? He's really commanding in that centre-back role. And I feel like he's growing with every game. He spoke a few days ago about the fact that he feels in the best moment of his career. And yet again today, so assured, so calming in that defensive area. He also gets a 9. So really strong performances yet again across that back line, because remember, they were so solid. Their line was perfect throughout the game. We kept catching Sevilla offside. But when it comes to Balde, though, I don't quite feel as though, at least right now, that he's quite at the same level as the others. I think there's quality there, there's real potential, there always has been with Alejandro Balde, but there's still more to come from him. A few times during this game, for instance, he's caught out of position. I think Ludobakio caused real problems there down that Sevilla right side. Alejandro Balde at times wasn't quite where he needed to be, and going forward, of course, he can still definitely do more, so maybe a bit of a lower rating for him. He didn't play badly, but I just expect a bit more. I want to see more. I want to see him matching the level of everybody else in that back line. I'm going to give Balde here a rating of 7 right here today. But then there's Marc Casado, and what can you say about him? Again, everywhere. Wherever you look, he will be there. And especially today, when you look at the structuring of our team, he had there ahead of him Pedri, who was pushing into really advanced areas alongside Rafinha. You had those two in central areas. You had Ansu Fati as well advanced, and Yamal. So what that meant was Casado's got a lot of work to do. You know, in that midfield there, when it comes to loose balls, when it comes to covering runs from Sevilla, he has to be really, really attentive to what's going on, and he always is. You know, so many pinpoint sliding tackles, that's one of his trademarks there, winning that ball back in good areas. Casado, for me, dependable, consistent, a solid 8. Could easily be a 9, but I'm going to go here with a really, really good 8 for Marc Casado today. Then there's Pedri. Now, what can you say about Pedri's game? And you've seen this so many times this season, guys. He has been absolutely phenomenal under Hansi Flick, and I feel as though they've got such a good relationship. And even you can see that from Flick's celebrations. He seems to really enjoy Pedri's goals, maybe even more than other players. You know, he really, really does enjoy seeing what he's doing, and that's how we all feel. Because Pedri's goal today was absolute art in the way that he finished it off there, whipping that ball into the back of the net. And his general play, you know, his overall play, the way that he links play, it's so exciting. He is so perfectly suited to this midfield because he can go between the two positions. You know, he can play as that deep midfielder, he can actually advance with the ball, but he can also play very much as that number 8, that number 10. He's got so much in his locker. Flick is bringing all of that out, and that's why today Pedri, one of our best players, he has to get a rating of 9, and a very, very high 9, I would say, for Pedri. Then alongside him, we had Rafinha, who of course did assist Robert Lewandowski's second goal of the game. Rafinha also had a goal disallowed after an absolutely beautiful pass from Lamine Yamal. And you know what you're going to get with Rafinha? He's so effective, he's so direct in that forward line in terms of that pressing, of course, setting the tone, setting the tempo from the front. Whenever he picks up the ball, he's got such pace, and that is what Hansi Flick wants in his team. He wants players there who can drive at the opposition, not only in terms there of just attacking in the final third, but carrying that ball on counter-attacks there. Rafinha linking up with Yamal. Those two are absolutely devastating. And again, guys, here today, even at 3-0 up, Rafinha's sprinting around. He's closing down players. He is working back. He was in the left-back role in that second half there at times. He was over on the right side as well. He does not stop working for the team. That's why he has to get a 9. He is effective in front of goal. He's important for our goal scoring, but he also works like crazy. And you combine the two of those aspects, and he is absolutely tailor-made for Hansi Flick's team. Then though, we do have to rate Ansu Fati's performance. Now, I personally was really happy to see him in the starting lineup. I think he does deserve chances. He does deserve opportunities. He needs minutes in the team to get that sharpness back. Because honestly, what we saw today from Ansu, again, was some good signs. You know, I thought he made several good runs in this game. I thought he was taking up really good positions. He actually got himself into 2 really good goal-scoring areas. One in the first half, one in the second half there from Ansu. And he could have ended this game with 2 goals. But the problem right now with him is that sharpness isn't there. You know, he's arriving into the right area, he's getting into good positions, but the finishing touch is just off. And when it's just off at this level, you notice it. You look a long way away from where you need to be, but I don't personally believe it is all that far away. You know, if he can get razor sharp again, if he can hit a bit of a run of form, it's in there for him. But right now, we're not quite seeing the sharpness that he needs. He wasn't quite on it as much as those around him today, and it shows. He's going to get a 7. You know, at the end of the day, he tried his best, he gave his all, but a 7 for Ansu Fati. And then there's Lamine Yamal. Now, this is one for me that I think actually maybe the rating will be incredibly harsh, because I actually thought Yamal played really well. He was excellent, actually. He was really, really effective in the final third. Could have got assists, could have easily got goals. And maybe that's the one thing that I'd say about him today. The finishing, maybe just a little bit erratic in front of goal. You know, there was a few there that he just dragged, you know, to the near post. There was a few openings that he had that could have easily ended in goals. He could have got a world-class goal, of course, with the outside of his foot. Wonderful save it was from the goalkeeper. But I'm actually going to give Yamal here an 8.5. But that's only because of his own standards. You know, another player, another young player like him, what he did out there today would be their performance of the season. But for Yamal, you know, knowing how good he is, knowing that he can score, that he can assist, that he can be so devastating in front of goal, maybe actually today he could have just gotten more and more out of it. You know, on other days, he's scoring more. That is an absolute fact. And then there's Robert Lewandowski, because today he got 2 goals, absolutely incredible goal scoring form he's on right now. Nice penalty that he scored, very clever clever second goal, as we said in the review, but it also, like I say, is not just about the goals with him. I thought today Lewandowski was so lively. That's what I want to see from him there. That spark in him, that glow in his eyes. You know, he got involved in the build-up. He had a few really nice touches, actually, in and around the attacking areas, and when he was popping the ball off, look at the darting runs that he was making. He actually had here a bit of a spring in his step today. It was quick from Lewandowski. It was sharp, and that is really, really exciting to see, because I think the kind of form that he's in right now, not only in front of goal, but in terms of his overall game, it's back where we want it. It is Hansi Flick here getting the absolute best out of Robert Lewandowski, and that is huge for our season. If we can keep him at this level and in front of goal as he has been, we're onto something big. We are onto something special. He was that good today. I'm going to give him a 9. Really, really good overall performance from him. He would have got a 10 if he'd have put away the finish in that first half there. To give himself a first half hat-trick, it was nearly perfect for Lewandowski, but not quite. 9 for him. Which then brings us on to the substitutes in this game, which, like I say, guys, they had a real impact there. Coming off the bench, all of them there added to the game in their own way. Pau Victor would be my first up there. He had a great chance to score in the second half. That's what really will decide his rating. If he puts that away, he gets an 8. He could even get a 9 there coming off the bench. But Pau Victor, for me, a rating of 7. Solid. He's there. I like him in that 9 role. We have to use him there more often now, especially that Ferran is injured. He can definitely score goals in this team. Fermin Lopez, great to see him back. I think he can be a really important player here under Hansi Flick. Obviously, didn't get too involved in the final third there. You want to see him making those runs, taking shots on from the edge of the box. He didn't quite have the minutes there to be able to do that today, so he's also going to get a rating of 7. Gerard Martin came on, didn't really do anything spectacular, obviously, wasn't on the field all that long indeed, did give away one sort of sloppy pass in the middle of the field there, very easy one that didn't need to be done, but because I'm feeling generous, he can have a 7 as well. We're not going to be too harsh on anybody just here today, getting back into the player ratings. But what about Pablo Torre? He came on and got 2 goals, and I know that one was a deflection, and I know the other one was a free kick there that in the end went in from his own cross, but at the end of the day, it's impressive to see him chipping in. It's impressive to see him contributing, and especially given the fact that he hasn't had many minutes at all, to come on here in a Barcelona shirt with the atmosphere inside the stadium against a team like Sevilla and actually score twice. That is impressive. At the end of the day, it's hard to score goals. He gets himself in good areas. He whips a good ball in there. He deserves a 9. Pablo Torre with 2 goals, and I am delighted for him. Honestly, he deserves this moment here. Really, really nice to see him getting those goals tonight. But there is time for one more player rating before we move on to the coach Hansi Flick, because let's talk about Gavi. Not only was it a breathtaking moment there to see him come back on, to see him back in a Barca shirt out on the field. He's waited so long for that moment, but then to see him immediately hunting down the ball. And it was almost as though, okay, there was doubts about him coming back, the kind of injury that he had, would he be the same player? Within seconds, you knew he was the same. You knew that Gavi, it was like he'd never, ever left. And he actually gave away a foul within the first minute of being on the field there. It was typical Gavi, getting in the face of the opposition, forcing mistakes. That is what he is all about. And I'm going to give him a 10. And I know, obviously, you know, in terms of the game, in terms of the impact there, is a 10 warranted? Well, you know what? I make the rules round here. He's getting a 10. We're all glad to see Gavi back. And it is such a privilege, again, to see him with the Barca shirt. So happy to have him with us. And then there's Hansi Flick. Because honestly tonight, guys, I'm just loving Hansi Flick ball. I think the game tonight was incredibly entertaining. It got us all on our feet. It got us all excited about the team again. And even more so given that this was a game straight after the international break. You know, remember, guys, there was a time where we used to come back looking sluggish, looking disconnected, finding our rhythm slowly but surely. Under Flick, you come back, you get to work, and you start playing in the same way that you left. And it's extraordinary to see him doing what he's doing as the Barcelona coach. Maybe tonight I would have liked to have seen a little bit more rest for Lamine Yamal. I would have liked to have seen him come off maybe a little bit earlier. But I think maybe Flick was hesitant to do that because he took him off early against Young Boys. He also took him off early against Alaves as well. So he doesn't want to keep taking him off early. But Yamal in the end did get rest with 15 minutes to go. And I am going to give Flick tonight a rating of 9. The perfect 10 is still to come. Because, hey guys, we've got Bayern next. And then we've got Real Madrid. And those are the kinds of games where we want to be producing 10s. So please indeed let me know in the comments down below here tonight, guys. Number one, did you enjoy the return of player ratings? Is it something you'd like to see feature more on the channel? Let me know that down below. And also, of course, let me know all of your ratings. Who stood out for you? Who were your best players of the match? And who also needs to be improving in this Barcelona team? Let me know that down below. I will see all of you soon, of course. But until next time, guys, enjoy this win. Visca, Real Barça.